In this video, traders, I'm going to talk about 5 things I wish I'd done sooner. Stay tuned. Hey guys, warm welcome to you. So my trading journey, 20 years now. I've loved the journey, but there are some things that, if I'd have done these sooner, they would have kind of eliminated a lot of pain going through stuff to try and work things out. It would have got me to profitability sooner. It just would have changed things an awful lot for me. Now listen, guys, you kind of say, well, actually all that tough stuff that you went through and grinding and working things out and fixing these challenges and then finding an edge and then finding another edge and then maximizing that and then making a first milestone and all this kind of stuff is part of the journey, of course. But this is me saying, right, well, you know what, maybe if you're on your journey, maybe you're trying to get to your first $250,000, maybe you're trying to get to your first 800, whatever your number you're trying to get to, become profitable, make your first £1,000, whatever it may be, it doesn't matter. When you're trying to get to that, maybe these things just kind of think and go, okay, well, if it fast tracks me by, a couple of months and it's kind of compounded, then I can get to where I want to be much quicker. And I can look to the next goal. The next goal, maybe you start your 10, then you look for your 100, then your $500,000, then your mil, etc. So think about these things. Number one is creating some kind of plan. I just didn't have a plan. When I started, I had no plan. I was deadly, just deadly. I would just be trading all sorts of stuff, this, that, the other, and just losing dramatically. It was, I didn't really ever have a plan as such. I didn't know to have a plan. I kind of formulated eventually something that was making me money, and I just stuck to that. But I never really had a plan in my early days that you would sit down and kind of go, yeah, I'd have some rules that I kind of made up and said, stop doing this and do this, and I brute forced it in a way. But that's a long way around. Much easier to have a kind of strategy and a plan refined, and so I knew where I was going. Ultimately, I found, something that worked for me in that moment in time and stuck to it because of the pain of doing other stuff was losing me money. I just said, well, just stick to this. And just literally from trying to move away from pain, I stuck to that, and that was kind of my plan in my mind. But I wish I'd been more structured with it, because I think if I'd done that and I'd refined things a little bit earlier, that would have kind of really helped accelerate the process. Number 2 is stop trying to make money. I know it sounds silly, but in actual fact, the desire to make money every day, every week, kind of stifles your growth. Because if you're trying to do that all the time, you never look at the bigger picture. You never go, okay, well, I just want to end the day green, but that's fine. But some days are just not going to be conducive to that. But there's some days where you don't want to just end the day green. You want to put that throttle absolutely to the deck and extract as much as you can from that. And the fear of turning the day red would often stop me from pushing on those right days. And then when the days when they weren't so good, I'd be really trying to grind and eke out hardly anything. And I think because it's so myopically focused on making money rather than, hey, stretch it out, but just do the right thing, do the right thing, do the right thing, the process, the money on the short-term basis will follow if you stick to the process and you stick to the edges that you've found and the opportunity, and when it's there you extract as much out of it and all that kind of stuff. Third thing is not being so tough on myself. Wow, man, I was tough and hard on myself, and I didn't know that others went through this. So breaking your rules, feeling just disgusted with the way you're trading, frustrated, angry, all this kind of stuff, and looking at yourself in the mirror going, why can't you stick to the rules? Why are you doing this? All you got to do is this. Why are you losing money? And I didn't realize that, obviously didn't have social media and stuff then, but I didn't realize this is normal. Every trader does this. These kind of people saying, oh, I'm making all this money in the market's like a cash machine to me, and I don't feel any of this pain and discipline and stuff. They're either lying, or they've got to a point where they've gone through that journey and they are in a position now where, hey, yeah, a lot of those early challenges disappear, and that's the good thing about becoming more experienced. You don't start to overtrade, you don't revenge trade, you don't make silly errors. Of course, you're a human being, but the big stuff, decimated account stuff, doesn't happen. But what I wish I'd known is that it's okay, it's normal, and if you focus on fixing these things, it will improve. I just thought, why am I the only person not be able to stick to rules? Is it just me? Well, it's not. It's normal. It's normal, and there's ways and strategies and techniques to deal with this stuff. And I was first started out, but I didn't brute force my way through. It took me longer than it needed to. 4, understood that less is more. And this is a kind of big thing that, hey, I was got me in front of the screen, 6 a.m. till 10 p.m. Bang, just there, grinding. And thinking that that was the way forward. In actual fact, when I start, again, I suppose it comes into, some kind of plan. When you refine your edge and you go, actually, but look at the majority of money's coming from this particular market, this particular time. Why don't you relax the other time? Why don't you use that to recharge? And I'd always feel guilty about taking time away from the screen. But in actual fact, it means you make more when the opportunities are there. So I'd have said, okay, less is more. Actually, when you're doing less active trading, you're going to be better when you are actually trading. You're going to be able to handle more size, more pressure, and extract more from the market under those little windows of opportunity you've defined in the conditions you define. And for me, kind of the first thing was like a level 2 opportunity in some of the UK shares traded on LSE. But by the by, I think the point is that when you really become focused and you push all your energy into that, you recognize that it is a less is more game from a kind of effort perspective, or an effort perspective spread over time, should I say. Fifth one, final thing is play the long game. I wish I'd have said to myself, listen, it's a long game this. This isn't about fixing something tomorrow or at the end of the week or whatever. It's about, or making a significant amount of money at the end of the day and at the end of the week. And whilst it's nice to do that, it's nice to be rewarded financially for your effort, the longer game pays off better. When you're saying, okay, well, if I'm putting the rules, the standards, the procedures, the plans, and the identities of trade, if I'm working on all that, that's going to help me longer term hit not just these shorter term targets which are nice to hit, but hit some big, good, large, lofty goals in the longer term. Then by the nature of getting to those lofty goals, it means that you're going to kind of bypass these small goals along the way. And I think that, obviously when you're in your 20s, you've got a different mindset and stuff. But the point is, I think if I'd have said, okay, look at the bigger picture here, step back and look at where you want to go, look at, this is the job you want to do for the rest of your life, this is something you really enjoy doing, then work at becoming the best you can at it, rather than working at becoming at just taking some money out this week or just taking some money out during the trading day. So something to consider, guys, is thinking of the long game. That's not throwing the short-term game under the bus, because of course it's nice to make money short-term, it's nice to boost the P&L, but at the same time still thinking, hey, I'm in this for the long haul, and trading and managing yourself accordingly. Anyways, there's 5 things I wish I'd done sooner in trading. Take care, see you next one, bye-bye.